Well, we're excited to be back for another Free Agent Friday guest, and trying to get exposure for as many people as we can during this rough time. A lot of people are out of work right now in the sports world, and there's a lot of great people that teams are going to be happy to pick up here soon. So, and I've got another one right now. So, welcome. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, well, let's start. Just give us your name and a little bit about your college and school time.
Sure. So my name is Cecilia Della. I graduated from Rutgers University with my undergraduate degree in psychology and criminology. I made the jump into the sports and entertainment industry this past May 2019, actually, when I obtained my master's degree in sports psychology. So I kind of made that jump, and I have been absolutely loving it ever since. So it's a different career path than what I was used to, but it is exciting and a fresh start for me.
So what is kind of your ideal, like career job? What kind of job are you looking for?
So ideally, I would be getting back into the higher education space. So I did have experience in that for 4 years. I would love to do something along the lines of being an athletic director or, working in student advising with student athletes, anything along those lines. I think that higher education space, it's a pivotal time in people's lives. It's a transitional time. And I think that having the support, especially coming from somebody who has a degree in sports psychology, a little bit of a different twist to provide that additional support and encouragement with making that transitional time a little easier.
No, that definitely, and I think more and more schools and even teams are, going to be looking for that skill set as well. So definitely good. So where are you located at? You're in the New Jersey area.
I am. So I am in Asbury Park, New Jersey, for anybody who is big on the music scene, very close to the Stone Pony. I'm about an hour away from New York City and about an hour and a half from Philly, give or take. Right now I could probably get there in about an hour with no traffic, which is great. But a great location for the sports and entertainment industry, very central, which is awesome.
Are you willing to relocate? Are you looking to stay within that region?
So ideally, I would stay within this region, but I am so open to anything at this stage in my life. I'm getting married in October. We don't have any children
Congrats.
yet. Thank you. We rent an apartment, so I'm not tied down to a house or anything of that nature. My fiance actually has a very similar background to me. He also has his master's degree in sports psychology. So he's a huge Bengals fan. And, out in Cincinnati, we have the Reds, we have the Bengals, we have new FC Cincinnati. So lots of sports out there, lots of great schools. And I think that a market like that would really open up lots of stuff for us.
What kind of, give us a little bit of your background as far as like after school and, even during while you were getting your master's, like what kind of work were you doing?
Sure. So while I was getting my undergraduate degree in psychology and criminology, I was working at Middlesex County College in Edison, New Jersey, in the Office of School Relations. So I was a project assistant there. And what that office did was we basically ran all events across campus for the K through 12 community. So whether that was teacher praxis exams or robotics competitions, whatever had to happen on campus for the K through 12 community, our office dealt with. So I was doing anything from pre-registration to registration to actually organizing, budgeting, and executing the events, and then being there on campus for all of the events that took place for and through the Office of School Relations. So from there, I graduated and I got my first full-time job as what was called a life coach at this company. So basically what I did was I helped rehabilitate individuals back into the community that have had long-term psychiatric hospitalizations or jail or prison time. So once they were discharged back into the community, I helped with that reintegration process, and I acted as a advocate and liaison to help link them to community resources. It was a very difficult but gratifying job. So from there, I was promoted to assistant team leader, where I looked over all of my clients on my caseload and then also had some management duties, such as overseeing staff for the forensic team and things of that nature. Um, I also I was tasked with things like doing quality assurance checks and audits for the state, making sure that all of our files were intact and ready to go in case there was an audit. From there, I got a job as a wellness coach, which was a pretty parallel shift for me, just to a new company. But the reason I made that change was because that company provided me with a flexible schedule and a scholarship to return to school.
Nice.
So yes, that was big for me. So during my time there, I worked full time. I went to school full time online and obtained my master's degree. After I graduated in May 2019 with my master's degree, I was offered a job at Prodigy Search, which is an executive level recruiting firm in the sports and entertainment industry. They also recently branched out to do things like nonprofits as well. And I was the administrative associate for that office. So within that role, I basically did all day-to-day operations for the office, and I also co-led any recruiting efforts necessary. So within that role, I, helped identify potential candidates, helped create prep documents for interviews and things of that nature. So I was kind of a jack of all trades. I did HR-related duties for staff, and I was able to really dive into a bunch of different areas that I hadn't experienced already, which was great. And unfortunately, that role is ending as of the end of the month. So the rest is TBD, but I'm excited about the future.
The next chapter is ready to be written.
Yes, absolutely.
So, when one door closes, another opens.
It sure does. Yeah.
What kind of, what's your biggest skill that you would kind of bring to your ideal job?
So I am just really open to trying new things. I try to bring the strong, positive energy when it comes to learning new skills, whether they intimidate me or not, whether I've ever crossed those kinds of bridges before or not. I try to just approach it with an open mindset and try to stay excited about what I'm doing, So I think that I put 100% into anything that I do. I try to, at least. I'm very detail oriented. And I also think that I have the ability to be a great leader. I've been in a leadership role in the past. And when I'm not in leadership roles, I find myself taking the initiative to present new ideas, bring new ideas to the table, or volunteer to lead on a project if there is a leader needed for something. So I always am just trying to try something new.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Now the hard one is what's the biggest weakness? What could hold you back?
So I think coming from the mental health field and seeing great things come from taking big risks in people's lives and really negative things come from taking big risks in people's lives, I think that my weakness kind of falls right in between there. So just my own anxiety and fear, I find myself sometimes having to just take the leap, because once I start thinking about it too much, I kind of psych myself.
Talk yourself out of it.
Absolutely. Yes. But if there's one thing that everything kind of going on in this moment has reminded me, it's just that life is short. You have to take the risks.
Yeah.
You have to put yourself out there. Failure is never failure. It's just the start of something new.
It's a good learning. Everything's a learning lesson, and it's definitely true. I used to love to take risks. I still do. They're just more calculated now, a little smarter, a little bit more thought into them.
I think I'm entering into that period of my life too, but every once in a while you just have to kind of leap in. So
yeah, no, definitely. Why is higher education kind of, a target for you? Like, why do you want to work in that realm?
Yeah, so like I said, that was I started off at Middlesex County College for 2 years, and during that time, I just found myself confused, trying to make decisions about my life that didn't make sense to me at that age. How was I supposed to pick a career I wanted to do forever when I didn't even know everything that was out there? I found that being in a smaller college setting at first was so helpful to me because you really were able to make that one-on-one connection. And then I went on to Rutgers, where
A little
I
bit
was
bigger.
500 in a class and didn't have that anymore. So I really saw both sides of the higher education space. And I felt the need for more people in psychology to work in higher universities and higher education and colleges, to help provide that support and that transition to students, because I went from, on one hand, knowing everyone, and on the other hand, knowing no one. So having, that person that you can connect with, especially student athletes, where you maybe are there on a full ride and you're kind of lost in the sauce of being the student athlete, but you want to thrive in other areas of your life that you have goals and ambitions in too. I think that that would be a great place for me to kind of mesh all of my skills from all of these different roles together to help someone transition through that.
What's your favorite sport if you have one?
Football. I'm a
Football?
Giants fan.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was gonna say if you said Eagles, I would be rough.
No,
Okay, good. I grew up in Pennsylvania, but I was brainwashed as a kid, so I'm a Cowboys fan. So,
okay. Well,
so
hey.
that's probably as bad as an Eagles fan for you, but no, the Giants. Okay. How about are all your teams New York teams then? Is that kind of what you
So
Knicks?
I'm Giants, Yankees, and then Devils.
Okay. No basketball?
Here and there for basketball. I guess I'd say I'm a Nets fan. My fiance's a Celtics fan, so he's got me, watching them.
Okay.
But yeah, I know he's a weird mix with his Boston teams and his
Cincinnati and
Cincinnati
Boston?
teams.
What's going on here?
Yeah, he's confused.
Yeah, most of us are. So what separates you from, other, candidates when you're, going into these positions? What really can push you over the top for somebody?
I just think that I never stopped trying. I learned a long time ago not to take criticism personally. And once I learned that, I really set myself up for success. Prior to that, there was just constant questions about whether I was good enough or whether I was doing the right thing or making the right decision all the time. And that's really, really exhausting. So when I started to learn not to take criticism personally, I found that my confidence was increasing. And as my confidence increased, so did everyone's confidence around me in me. And when that happened, that's when I start to get creative and innovative and show my best work. So I think just the fact that I don't stop trying, I don't take things personally. I want to learn. I want to hear the criticism. I want to get better. Those are new ways of doing things, better ways of doing things, maybe something I hadn't thought of. So really just taking in every experience and every chance that I get to learn something new and applying it.
Oh, that's really good. All right, let's get how about a fun fact about you personally? Let's get to know you a little bit.
I love this question. So I am an adventure seeker, and that's where I kind of have to hone in my risk taking, and that's where I start to overthink because I'm naturally just an adventure seeker. I have skydived a handful of times. I went cage diving with great white sharks in South Africa. I have hiked glaciers in Iceland. One of my life goals is to become an Adirondack 46er. So I've hiked.
What is that?
So hiking all of the Adirondack mountains above, I think I want to say it's 5,000 feet above sea level. Big mountains up there.
Yeah.
The Adirondack 46.
Okay.
So I currently have 5 down, and I have a long way to go. But when I make a goal for myself, I just do it. I just set out to do it. I don't think about how difficult it's going to be. I just kind of dive in and
or dive out the plane. Tell me about the skydiving. The last gentleman I was talking to just told me he just recently skydived for the first time too. I would not do that, but what was going through your head to do that? Did you enjoy it?
I did. I absolutely, and I hate heights. I hate
Wow.
heights, and I love to hike and I love to skydive. Because you know what? You don't have time to think when you're up there. And that's always been my downfall, is just that overthinking. You're attached to someone, the door opens, and you have, 30 seconds to get everyone out of the plane. So,
wow, that just freaks me out thinking about it.
but
I'm
you
a
don't have
wuss.
time to think. So I think that's why I loved it so much, because it took that moment away and just helped me experience it.
Did you do it more than one time?
I did. So I jumped my first time a couple years ago. I then forced my fiance, he was my boyfriend at the time. Somehow we made it to this moment in our life.
He jumped is the thing.
Yeah, to go with me. He loved it and wanted to go again. And we jumped again together with a couple of our friends after that. So
wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Way more brave than me, that's for sure. Anything else that you want to, share on this brief, kind of get to know you?
I think I just want to say I am extremely grateful for this platform to, get myself out there. I am new to this industry, but I may not have the most experience. I may not be deeply rooted in this industry, but I am so excited for my future. I'm excited to put myself out there in ways that I haven't and probably wouldn't have had this whole global pandemic not happen. I think it just helped put things into perspective for me, where I want to be, the steps I need to take to get there, and the people I need to connect with to do this. And I'm just very, very excited about what doors this will open for me.
Yeah, no, I think you hit it on the head. That's great. I think you've got, a bright future, and I'm excited to try to help, as best that I can. And hopefully my network can help too. I mean, the network that I've been building is pretty rapidly growing, and hopefully, again, this kind of came to me one night and I was like, how can I try to help people? I just see people every day posting about losing their positions and things like that. And it's not their fault. I mean, there's like yourself and others. I mean, there's some great workers, great skills that, are out right now. So
absolutely. I appreciate you taking the time to do this. Thank you.